Hello, many thanks for joining the midweek edition of Journalist Hangouts. I'm Ayodele Uzubakum. Today on the program, APC National Working Committee, NWC, declares Sanwo-olu winner of Lagos Governorship Primaries. Ambody concedes as Oshiomhole sacks Gulag Committee on Imo Primaries. Protest jubilation as Shehu Sani gets automatic Senate tickets. And later on the show, federal government to set up permanent electoral offences tribunal. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Gani Kayode Balogun, and Sam Ibemere. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Glad to have you on the groundbreaking program of the year. In a nascent democracy like ours, what matters most is mass participation and not necessarily perfect nature of the political system. Hence, the open direct primaries conducted to choose the All Progressives Congress APC governorship candidates in Lagos State received resounding and widespread applause. So, when the committee in charge mooted the idea of truncating the primaries in an act reminiscent of that of June 12, 1993 annulment, it was greeted with resentment. In a dramatic twist, however, the committee led by Clement Ebiri embraced the exercise and declared Babajide Sanwo-olu winner of the primaries. But the exercise in Imo State could not achieve a logical outcome. The APC national chairman had to sack the governorship primary committee led by Ahmed Gulag. Let us hear the verdict delivered by Ebiri on the Lagos primaries.
After resolving some of the hiccups, the Lagos State APC Governorship Primary Committee collated the results from the 245 wards in the 20 local government areas from the collating officers. At the end of the exercise, the following votes were scored by the aspirants, by the respective aspirants. 1, Governor Akinwumi Ambode, 72,901 votes. Once again, 72,901 votes. The other aspirant, Babajide Sanwo-olu, scored 970,851 votes. 970,851 votes. Following these results, I, Clement Ebiri, the chairman of the Lagos State APC Governorship Primary Committee, hereby declare Babajide Sanwo-olu as the winner of that election.
People in Lagos came out to vote in all the wards, 245 wards in number, and across the 20 local governments in Lagos State. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank the members of APC in Lagos State for coming out in their numbers to vote for the two contestants, two aspirants we had. And the elections were free, fair, and transparent. There was no single incident of violence in all the wards. APC will continue to be the leading party in Nigeria. Unknown to many people, all the national officers of the party were even watching the thing right, and they knew everything was according to constitution, was constitutionally conducted. So the national headquarters had to wade in, and now the results have been upheld.
While the confusion over whether or not the Lagos governorship primaries will be cancelled, here on Journalist Hangout, we discussed and hinted of about what eventually transpired. Let us give you some of what we discussed yesterday.
Why they will now, after seeing videos of people voting, you know, coming out in large numbers voting, to now say you want to organize election in the evening.
As we are talking.
I mean, it's ridiculous. People had voted. This thing has been trending. They've seen Lagosians members of the APC demonstrate their love for the candidate of their choice. You now said, okay, now that you want to begin to move materials to voting points for a fresh election. The only thing that they need is the result sheet.
Honestly.
Where the result will be written. That's all. You don't need ballot papers.
Because we witness
people don't need to cast ballots in this kind of election. All that they need to do is file out behind the candidate of their choice. The pictures of those candidates are there, pasted high up, you know, in front of the parapets of the buildings where the voting will take place, and people will file out. It's the most transparent process. There's no reason to cast ballot anywhere. There's no need for a ballot box. This is the best way that it can be done.
Option A4.
Yes, option A4, which delivered the best election in our history. Which delivered the election that Abiola won.
I think at this point, the national leadership again must step in to resolve this crisis. It's a looming crisis. If NWC is still on top of this matter, the issue in Lagos, as far as I'm concerned, initially I took some position, but
when you saw what happened today,
this morning, I thought it was a joke, but you keep raging and all that. So it's so clear the direction APC members in Lagos wants to go. Instead of just overheating the polity, the NWC should just meet, because if they need to meet with the Lagos APC and settle this matter once and for all.
I want to appeal very seriously to the national leadership of the APC that this is a time to show the whole world, that the party is based on principles. That the party actually
has to show leadership. There's no need.
Everything he has done will be rubbish by this.
There's no need for a fresh ballot. There's no need for
Who
a
will
fresh
come
election.
out for the fresh ballot?
There's no need.
You tell the people again.
Elections were held even in Ekpe.
Here on this program, we're agenda setters.
Yeah.
We actually told them
there's no need for a fresh election.
There's no need. And the Clement Ibiri-led committee earlier today actually did the right thing. And Governor Akinwumi Ambode, an hour ago, actually, congratulated Jide Sanwo-olu.
Yeah.
And if you juxtapose this with what happened last Sunday, when the polity was so heated, he to acknowledge that the polity has been heated up.
Yes.
But he has vowed to stay in the party and work for the success of his party, and congratulated Mr. Jide Sanwo-olu. What do you make of the spirit of sportsmanship of Akinwumi Ambode?
I'm impressed, and I'm very happy. As an Ambode supporter from the beginning, even up to this time, I was disappointed about the events of Sunday. But as you can see, the governor has retraced his steps. The party brought him out of oblivion to national and international prominence. There's no reason for him to ditch his party at this time. There's no need for him to work against the interests of his party. There's no need for him to go to another party. People have suggested that he should go to PDP, and all that. There's no need. There were some things that he said on Sunday that shouldn't have been said, that appeared to even be subtle demarketing of his own party. But he has retraced his steps. And the speech, the statement that he issued conceding defeat is a dignified one. It's a dignified one that shows to people the real Ambode that we have known. Humble, always listening. This statement clearly amplifies that. And his determination to now work for the party to ensure that there's smooth transition has really made me to be happy with him. He's done well as a governor. Asiwaju himself acknowledges that. He's done well, especially in the building of roads, reducing of traffic gridlock across the country, saving of people's lives through those overhead pedestrian bridges that were not there. He has nothing to be ashamed of. He's done well as a governor. If his regime ends today,
on the high,
he will still end on a high because he has some signature projects that you can point out and you'll be proud of him. The 10-lane airport road project that will be walled on both sides. It will be a first in Nigeria. He's going far with it. The terminal, the Oshodi terminal, will also be the first of its kind in our country. The work is proceeding at a dizzying pace there. So Pen Cinema, that has been there for so long that nobody thought that there was need to put an overhead bridge there. It's gone there to put a fantastic bridge there, similar to what he put in I'm even talking about this one, Abule Egba area. And U-turn, you know, beautiful. Ambode has done well. He has not been a fantastic politician, and he's learned an exemplary lesson about that. Now, when he comes back, either in future, to be anything else, the lessons of these past few weeks will continue to ring in his heart, and I believe that it will be better for it. We all make mistakes. We all learn. People, bigger politicians like him, have made mistakes in the past, and they quarrel with their parties, and parties will always show that they are preeminent. In this case, Ambode had issues with the people who make things happen in the APC. He had issues with them, and they punished him for it. But nobody can deny that he has done well now by conceding defeat. There's no need to heat up the politics, as he has said. There's no need to fight anyone, because if he fights anyone, he will provoke more people, and the end could even be more shameful. So he should just calm down, accelerate the pace of the work that he's doing. And I'm telling you, the same Nigerians who are abusing him, the same musicians who are waxing albums to ridicule him, when they see the work that he has left, they will point at it and they will say, oh, within the time that he was there, he did well. So he should just focus on that work. He should behave like nothing has happened. Just focus on the work that he's doing and deliver those projects in record time. Some of them will be delivered in December. Let him focus on ensuring that they deliver those projects. And the projects, even some of the projects that he had, that he was planning for second term, if he can start them now, he should start them. Government is a continuum. They are worthy projects. I'm talking about the Fourth Mainland Bridge, you know, and the 5-layered road that he plans to do, beginning from Toyin, going right up to Ikorodu Road. It will have been the first of its kind in this part of the world, but he still has time. He can start it, and then whoever takes over will be able to continue. That's the way it should be. So I still retain my respect for him, despite all that has happened.
GKB, I got a text message from the publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party. He was always sending that text that, oh, they are going to have their governorship primaries today. In the afternoon, we'll say, no, sorry, we postponed it. So this evening, I called him that, hope you are working towards INEC timetable. Saturday. I hope you are going to finally have your primaries. Yeah. Since I know that they've been sending emissary, doing a lot of, to hoping that they will gain from the crisis within the All Progressive Congress. Yeah. And some people were even speculating that Governor Ambode should go to the People's Democratic Party.
The challenge that those people will face now is the fact that those of us who've been telling them that this is purely a family affair will now be vindicated. Because for the last 2 weeks, social media has been filled with emergency negotiations.
Honestly.
Emergency.
People that are not even stakeholders.
People who don't even know the way to Lagos if they have to die to get there. And they were the authority on it. I will keep telling them, look, this party in Lagos has been cohesive since 1999. From the days of AD to AC to ACN, now to APC. Something that will break them will be something that's so monumental. And that monumentality, you and I know, will not come from Akin Ambode. Because the gentleman is a man of his words. Like you said, everybody knows that Ambode is like my mind reader. Because Oshodi, where I lived, Lagos Island, where I was born, And Abule where I'm living now, seems that I concentrated things to make me happy. I'm supposed to get a flyover in January for Fagba. I'm getting one at Penn Cinema this December. I got one last year for Abule. Me alone, 3 flyovers. I know it's going to become a hub in such a way that I can walk for 5 kilometers without seeing the sun. That means I can walk from the airport straight down to Shogule, and I will not see the sun. I'll be under covered roof. So his legacy is safe, and it cannot be rubbished. And that's why I'm very glad he has refused to leave the party. Because one thing about party politics is that this is just a taste. If he should have moved, only God knows what the party will do to him. So to me, this is the best act of an Omoluabi. That you learn a lesson, you fall in. Like Awolowo said, it's not in falling. It's in rising up every time and learning the lesson. Because you can rise up and not learn the lesson that fall gave to you. And so you keep falling. But I'm sure now Mr. Akimawode will have realized that some people that he considered friends or strong allies or aides
misleaders
are actually misleading him in the wrong direction. And I'm sure from today, it's a brand new branded governor Akimawode that we'll see at Alausa.
A lot of people will say to present another candidate for the All Progressive Congress that all other political parties around in Lagos, they've not been showing up since 1999. That this will be an opportunity for all, maybe the PDPs of this world to try and show up and maybe to try and see if they can get Lagos from the All Progressive Congress.
Yes, Ayo. It's quite interesting the way things have played out. For any keen observer of the political space, it would have been easy, to make some very simple additions. When we had the issue of postponement a couple of times, you would have observed that even the PDP, found excuse to also postpone, their primaries. And then the speculations out there were that they were waiting to see what will happen in the APC and probably take advantage of it. Now their thinking was that if Ambode, leaves the party, he will probably, go for PDP, which is acknowledged to be the main opposition party, probably with some large, sizable following. So yes, PDP in Lagos, of course, looking at figures, looking at numbers, is the main opposition party. How active has that party been, in the last couple of years? Depending on the divide where you're coming from, you could say, looking at the last elections, that it was close, between an Agbaji and an Ambode. So yeah, it probably would be perceived as an opportunity for the opposition party to leverage the seeming crisis that may have played out within the APC. But as it is, Ambode has said this is a family issue. He has congratulated the Sanwo-olu.
That would be a big disappointment to the opposition.
Who is the winner. And so the disintegration that was anticipated within APC is now far-fetched. So what the PDP will need to do is to ask itself very pertinent question. Where do we go from here? They now have to go search. We've had names like Otedola being banded out there. We've had names about Agbaje, who has been in the cooler all the while, and only seems to appear when election is coming close. So
we have my friend Deji Dohati.
Okay, yeah. So the space is open. We would like to see them come play active politics, but as it is, the APC gladly, and thanks to the party leadership, for once, has put its house together. We cannot, cry more than the bereaved. I would rather say that all is well that ends well. They would have learned their lessons. We can only pretend that there were no, challenges pre the primaries. There were challenges, but it's interesting, it's exciting that that those challenges were resolved in 24 hours. And I think that's what makes a great political party. So give it to the political leadership, give it to Shomole. At least for once, Mr. President appeared to also have played politics. We know that some consultations, took place. And in few hours, what the panel said didn't take place. We were told those hiccups had been resolved. So all is well that ends well. It's an opportunity for the party to leverage. It has its house, together once again. For Sanwo-olu, he has to understand that he's not won the election. What he has is just the ticket to run. So he has to watch his back. As it is, there are people who, even within the party, let us not pretend, who would, feel that somebody has been, maltreated. Okay.
Let me take Victor. Victor is calling from Ogun State. Thank you for joining us, Victor.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to thank you and Baba today for the job you are doing. I'd like to quickly comment on this.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I greet you people, Baba DJ and the co-host of Journalism Hangout.
Thank you.
I would like to comment on this.
Go ahead, Victor. You're spending time around
your program. But today, what you people are discussing is like the thing is one-sided. You were talking about the Lagos APC primaries, just concluded primaries. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that you people could have brought somebody to balance it. Like all of you there are APC members. Though I'm not a party member, but I want what you are talking as if you are all APC.
No.
So to balance it, you should be neutral in this thing to analyze this way, because I'll be following this program and I'll be enjoying it. So, but this one, I'm not a party man, but I want people to throw more light on it, as in just say, okay, PDP has every day, this is a new house, as if you people are APC.
All right, thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor. We accept your criticism, and
there is no stamp on our heads that indicates that we are adherents of a particular political party. I'm not an APC member. I criticize them. I criticize the president, though I am unapologetically a supporter of the president. But I criticize him more than those who even say that they don't like Buhari.
Constructively.
Constructive criticism, and you see changes. That is what we are into.
Somebody
so it's not really
a journalist that will balance.
I've had that all day and I started laughing. So
you have to deal with the fact.
And you can't look at Sam now and say Sam is an APC member. There is absolutely no reason to think that he's an APC member. All of us are APC. So we are not APC. We just discuss. Sometimes we say things that even the APC would get very angry. They will call us names. Some of them will block us. So we don't see these things. We are not APC. Why should we be? We are journalists. And that's what we want to remain to be.
You know, Judah, I was going to ask before the call came in that you could have sympathy votes. I mean, if the opposition PDP plays its game very well, it could leverage what has played out in Lagos. And that was the point I was going to make.
Okay, so okay. I want us to talk about...
We'll talk to them.
So even when PDP gets the act together and they present a candidate, we'll do the same thing.
Of course.
Of course. Imo State.
Yes.
The same APC.
Well,
we'll keep talking about them.
Something is happening in Imo that we all should be worried about.
Why Emeka Ihedioha emerged as the candidate for the People's Democratic Party successfully, quietly, decently.
No problem.
There has been so much rancor within the APC in Imo State, and that is even affording other parties opportunity to expand, opportunities to spread their tentacles. Today, if you go to Imo, APGA is beginning to work strong.
That's true.
And it's because they are latching upon the crisis within the APC in Imo State. When people are extremely selfish, you don't want to concede anything to the other person. There's no way you can make progress. PDP could have won Imo back then. Remember, it was all because of the crisis between Ararume and party leaders in the state, and Ararume had to go and work for APC. They had won the other elections, you know, prior to that time. They had won the other elections. But because of that crisis, the PDP failed in Imo State. How can we deal with a situation in which Ahmed Gulak, the Adamawa man, former political advisor to Jonathan, organized the primaries in Imo, also supervised, because that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah. It is the party in the state that should organize. They are just supposed to supervise. Give it
legitimacy.
Yes, ensure that the guidelines were followed. Now, Ahmed Gulak, after the election, ran to Abuja, where he gathered pressmen and claimed that Hope Uzodinma actually won the election. Now, Hope has been banding figures saying that he actually scored 423,895 to Nwosu's 10,329. Nwosu now went on Twitter to thank Imolites, saying he actually scored 455,655 to Hope Uzodinma's 9,159. So who do we believe? Because whether we like it or not, truth is a casualty here. Truth is the casualty. They say in all wars, the greatest casualty is the truth. That's what philosophers say. You know, because people will lie. Oh, we have killed 10,000 people. Oh, with the other day we covered the fighters in their trenches. Truth is always a victim of war, always the biggest victim of war. In this case now, this political war, the truth is already a victim. Now, Oshomole and his people must resolve this logjam. They must show that there is discipline in the party. They must show that the party is supreme. The party has to also bring people that it can trust. Because you know that in the past, the party sent people to Imo who went to Imo to organize a congress to the exclusion of the governor. Took the congress to a location just outside Owerri that the governor of the state, probably the biggest stakeholder in Imo affair, was not even aware of. Chief Security of this officer of the state was not aware of the place where the congress of his party is taking place. The more you look. Enough, you see, enough of these drama sketches from the APC. Let the party begin to do things seriously. You should be able to organize the primaries that people will not complain about. They had it in what's it called? They had primaries in Borno. After more than 20 people paid so much money. We had the big people took part. At the end of the day, someone won. And there's no controversy. There's no controversy. So this is what I'm saying, that the party, if it is Oshomole himself who will come from his high horse as national chairman, that will go and organize that Imo team, because there has been no single contest in that Imo that has not been contested, that has not had one form of controversy or the other. Even when they contested against one another during the national convention in Abuja, they ended up beating each other. Breaking each other's lips. So fighting. Let them ensure that within the time ceiling that they conduct a credible primary where an authentic candidate will emerge. Enough of this embarrassment from Imo State. Oshomole has to get it right. He's dissolved the Gula committee. He must bring the right mix of people to make sure that this thing is done.
GKB, what's the takeover? Gulak said that he ran for his life, that the governor's boys were after him, and I had to escape. But I thought there was a time he said he would die for democracy during Jonathan's time. But that's an aside. Imo State.
He has changed his mind about that.
Imo State APC is the bad child of APC in the Southeast. Remember, there was a time the organizing secretary refused to give the governor form. And they were fighting. And we and I know that two things are going to happen. None of the two camps wants to leave APC. In normal situation, one of them will have left. But right now, the only us in town is APC.
Many have left.
And no, those who want to take the party, they refuse to go. Hope is not going anywhere. Rochas is not going anywhere.
Recently joined the party now. When did he join?
And so that's the problem we're going to face. It's up to the chairman of the party to take it personally and solve this problem in the next 48 hours. Yes.
Sam,
well,
final.
Yeah, incidentally, Imo State is where I come from, and I would like to describe what is happening there as comedy of some sort. You know, put in a very short sentence. What we have is a group of persons who lack leadership credentials, and I think that's what is playing out there. Greed.
Okay.
Is at work. Desperation is at work.
All right, still to come, protest jubilation as Shehu Sani gets automatic tickets to the Senate. Join us after this time out. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's still Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. That Nigeria's political atmosphere is never short of the unexpected. After much uncertainty over the political future of Senator representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, he has got the ticket of the All Progressive Congress, APC, to return to the Senate. Senator Sani got the automatic ticket to fly the APC flag in the 2019 elections after 3 other aspirants were disqualified from the senatorial primaries. It was a bitter, sweet victory for the senator as some APC members protest against his emergence, while others commended the decision of the party. Babajide, I was afraid for Shehu Sani at a point in time because of the lingering controversy he had with government, disagreement, sorry, with Governor Nasir El-Rufai, and when at a point in time that the governor was even cursing all the senators in the states, I thought Shehu Sani is in limbo, that he cannot go back to that Senate. Yeah. What changed the dynamics?
As we always say, you must play your politics the right way. When many of the APC senators were decamping, Alhaji Barabe Musa called Shehu Sani and said, see, you cannot go to the PDP. By your nature as an activist from the beginning. Shehu Sani used to be president of the Kaduna Student Union. He went to jail under Abacha, was detained and jailed.
Human rights activist.
He's always been a fighter. So, Balabe Musa, though a member of the PRP, reminded him of his credentials, and he said, that is not a place for you to go. No doubt about it, he's loyal to Bukola Saraki, you know, no doubt about it. But he refused to decamp. And then the president was surprised. When Shehu Sani met the president during that meeting, when the Senate caucus, the APC caucus, met the president said, now I know that you are a true activist. Because he felt that Shewu's friendship with Bukola Saraki would have led him to join the PDP. In fact, if they asked people to list the first 5 senators that would jump ship, they would have listed Shehu Sani because he was fond of criticizing the president and he was fond of taking side with Bukola Saraki. But he took that decision at that time, and he's visited the president at least twice after that. Now, Oshomole's own agenda is to reward National Assembly members who fought for the party, who stood by the party against all odds. And he has told governors that, look, what we would not like to see is you people snatching Senate seats from these people who stood by us when we needed them the most. He told these governors. But of course, the greed of governors, their greed for power, their insatiable greed for power, ensures that as we speak now, not less than 7 or 8 governors have already taken Senate seats from the previous occupants of those seats. And that is the situation.
That's the retirement house.
Now, with Shehu Sani, what El-Rufai wants is for Shehu Sani to come out and apologize for opposing the loan that Kaduna State wanted. And Shehu Sani will not apologize because as far as he's concerned, with all the bailouts and the fact that even loans dating back to the 1960s were yet to be paid, that there's no reason for Kaduna to continue to pile more debts. That was the argument. But in the view of Shehu Sani, what they did at that time was wrong. And it's been, I mean, the view of Nasir, what they did was wrong. And he's been campaigning against them that they've been holding down the development of Kaduna State, that the loan, they wanted the loan for infrastructure development, they stopped it, and every opportunity will be swearing at them. We'll be swearing at them, inviting God's anger on these people. Naturally, if you think that God listens to El-Rufai and God allows El-Rufai's wishes to come true, by now, Shehu Sani, Bushi here, will have disappeared. And then he will probably have died. But our God does not listen to mortals, just like that. So they are still alive in spite of the wish of
going back to the Senate
of the governor for something evil to happen to them. And this has been the contention of this guy. Within the party leadership, they've been saying, "Oh, we've suspended," and the national leadership said, "No, you cannot suspend a National Assembly member without clearing with the leadership of the party at the federal level." And that is what has been saving people like Shehu Sani, because they probably would have been expelled even by now. So Oshomole and co have made good their promise to these guys and have now said, okay, so these guys will get automatic tickets, especially where a governor is not stretching his neck and showing interest in that seat. You understand? There's no governor who wants that seat so that he too can go to the Senate. It's a different thing. If a governor, a sitting governor, his tenure is winding up and he wants to go to the Senate, it's a different thing. The national chairman will have to fight a little bit.
Some of them are just comfortable.
Yes, some of them don't like some of those guys. And now where that has happened, you see that Oshomole has come out to protect those senators. But where someone is probably seen as being overly loyal to the Senate president, you see some of those senators are not coming back. Like Sabi of Niger. He's not coming back. David Umoru, I think too, is not coming back. You know? So there are some senators, but there are those who have pledged to support the party.
Loyalty to the party.
So I don't think it is wrong to reward them by allowing them to. And then, of course, even the turnover rate for lawmakers is too high in Nigeria. Every year, a minimum of 60 to 70 senators don't return. And it's not good. It's not good. Parliamentary procedures are not easy to grasp.
Honestly.
So you now start, fresh people will come, you now start training them.
And ranking. GKB. There's one Ubasani that the governor is said to be supporting.
Was priming.
Yes, there was violence. Tessem just called me before we started the program that there was violence all over yesterday, protesting, and we have
even destroyed vehicles.
Yeah, destroyed vehicles. We even have one sort that they were threatening fire and brimstone that election will not hold in Kaduna State. Yes.
The driver almost died.
It was violent throughout.
The moment the announcement was made.
Remember that El-Rufai got all the votes in the primaries to get back to Kaduna House. Then you know what is happening and you know who is behind it. Because if the governor, no dissenting voice, everybody voted for the governor to come back. And you know this, of course, is the next logical step. The reason why I'm very happy is that El-Rufai has seen himself in the last 4 years as the kingmaker of the APC administration in Nigeria. Always poking his nose into other states to cause trouble. And this time, what they've done to him is to ensure that the Shehu Sani bone is now lodged firmly in his throat.
In his throat.
So
even Abdul Kadri,
yeah.
the man whose house is demolished, Abdul Kadri came back as national vice chairman Northwest, which means he retains his position as the political leader of even El-Rufai himself, because that's his political leader.
So that's the thing that we expect. And I'm sure that, like you said, Oshiomhole has repeated it many times, that loyalty to the party is number one when it comes to National Assembly. Because if you remember when he came in, PDP was firmly in control of both hands of the National Assembly. And they had to do a yeoman's job to ensure that the coup did not really succeed. And that's why Saraki and the other chap cannot open the National Assembly until maybe middle or later this month. Because nobody is really sure today who controls those two arms. And they don't want to try that. And this, of course, will ensure and empower those people that stay with the party to do more the next time.
We are looking at some other states, but this Kaduna state, if Shehu Sani eventually, if he comes back, if he gets back to be, a senator representing that senatorial zone, do we still expect? Because I don't think the moral part of him, the senators blocking El-Rufai from getting a loan. And I feel that there's a way they can go around that thing, because El-Rufai is talking about development to Kaduna State. That how can you say you are lawmakers and you're blocking it?
The Shehu Sani that I know and who we have tried to profile here is one who has very strong character, independent character. Every politics they say is local. I'm sure that in his decision to stand up to El-Rufai, as far as the loan, or the facility, was concerned, he had very clear reasons. He must have traded something to get this automatic ticket. And it's not just Shehu Sani. There are several other individuals which, if time permits, we'll mention them. So Shehu Sani played his game well, got his ticket, and I'm sure that when he gets back to the National Assembly, if there is stronger intervention from the party leadership, and I'm referring to Oshiomhole's leadership, I would want to believe that some understanding will be reached at the state level where concessions will be made.
The loan request can be represented.
That is if El-Rufai is willing to reach out to this man who has just been given an automatic ticket. Remember, we have just argued here that the crises that we see that have played out may have been instigated. Of course, you don't expect Sani to fold his arms and allow himself to be shut down. So if that misgiving is not clear, we're likely to see a Sani holding on to his position, even if he returns to the National Assembly. But I think that...
Samson is calling us from Lagos, sorry. Thank you, Samson.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Samson.
Yeah, I actually want to submit my own suggestions.
Okay.
Good evening, Babajide and others. You guys are doing a nice job.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to quickly speak on the issue of Senator Sanwo-olu of Kaduna. My own suggestion is this. Is it part of the characteristic of a true democracy to be giving someone an automatic ticket? I think the characteristic of democracy is a periodic election. Now, you say that Shehu Sani, the automatic ticket given to him, was the wish of the people of Kaduna State. So the point is, why should we upheld things that are wrong? These are wrong things. Why should we upheld them? I think that's just my own suggestion.
Thank you, Samson.
Go to party's ticket.
Okay.
I'm sure the party leadership was acting within the Constitution. I mean, if they didn't have that power to do what they did, they wouldn't have done that. So I want to believe that the leadership acted within its powers to do what they did. And it's not just about Sani. Across the states, you have Akpabio, you have Abdullah, you have Uduaghan and the rest of them, who at some point reached some understanding with the party and said, look, we're going to drive, you know, members towards the party. In return, this is what we're going to get. And so Oshiomhole has kept, on behalf of his party, he has kept the promise. So what we as analysts are looking at is what plays out thereafter. Remember, like I've always argued, this is just a ticket. They will still have to go to the battlefield. And we want to assume that if they win, then the interest of the party will be pursued and defended.
Jide, we have some situations, like in Ondo State now, we know Arakuni, yes, and what's his name? Professor Ajayi Boroface. They don't see. Now, Professor Boroface has been given that automatic ticket. Yes. I saw the list. Yes. I know Tayo Alashadra is coming. I know he's with the governor. In Lagos West. In Lagos West, Kaide Okwefa wanted to run, and some other guys, but their name, they were not cleared. It was just Senator Olamilekun Solomon, also known as Yayi. So, looking at some strategic state like that, this Oshiomhole gesture, how will it impact on the polity? Because I'm sure Arakuni will not be happy because he would have had a replacement in his mind for Ajayi Boroface.
Yeah, but why? Why are governors like this? Why? Must you replace? And you see, the danger, the unfortunate thing is, in trying to replace that person, they will not allow a transparent process to happen. Look at the way the man with the cap like a marquee is running from pillar to post.
No, that was...
you know? It has become shooting today, shooting tomorrow, just because the governor wants to put his own people there. What has politics become in our land? That thugs are now running riot, they've taken over the landscape. See, if it will be a transparent process, because Oshiomhole outlined it from the beginning. He said, you are free to suggest a format by which you will choose your the candidates, but you must get the buy-in of other stakeholders. If there is disagreement, then we go for direct
to choose.
Because he knows that these governors will not allow the process to be transparent. They want to go to the Senate. They want to be the ones to put everybody.
Lots of rep, lots of assembly.
Without even thinking that sometimes even those people that they fight for go to Abuja and refuse to be loyal to them. You want to kill people to ensure that you enthrone certain people, and those people get there. Sometimes,
we see it.
Sometimes,
yes,
they fall out with you. You've seen it. Look at the way Danjuma Goje was lamenting about the Gombe governor. That from the day, from that stadium, that Dan Kwambo has not visited his house until his wife died.
Lost his wife.
Forgot Theodoji.
Theodoji was in detention.
EFCC detention.
He was in detention.
It was Orji Zakalu that.
He was chief of staff to Orji Zakalu. He was in detention. He won his election in detention. But after the first term, he got fed up with Orji Zakalu and his mom. Because during Orji Zakalu's reign, everyone was complaining that it was the mom that was running the show. So Theodoji, decided to calm down during his first term. As soon as he got the second term, he became a different animal.
Had to retire.
So, and he made sure that every effort that Orji Zakalu made to come back to he pushed Orji Zakalu out of the party. And every effort that Orji Zakalu made to come back to the party, he frustrated at the ward level. That's why I always say that it is possible to block someone from entering a party if you want, because at the ward level you will not register him. So this is the thing, that you brought someone to power does not necessarily mean that you can retain his loyalty. So what these governors are doing is wrong. Unite the party in your state. Once you unite the party in your state, everybody will pull in the same direction. But a situation in which you now rank some people better than others, and those ones that you don't like, you think that their political future must end. No, it's wrong.
I have Sunday. Sunday is calling us from Taraba. Thank you for joining us, Sunday, and thank you for holding on.
Yeah. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sunday.
Yeah, good evening, Babajide.
Good evening.
And the rest of the guests there. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. I want to comment on the Lagos State APC primary. The truth is that Ambode accepting the outcome of the election, I think it's the best. It will make him to be more relevant, even within the APC. I think he has done the best. Yeah, because that structure, Akiwaju has built in Lagos State right from 1999. For you to dislodge that structure, you need to think twice. Because it's a very healthy structure. It's the same structure the former governor of Delta State, James Onanese-Ibori, the same structure. So if you want to dislodge that structure in Delta State, that Ibori family political structure, if you want to dislodge it, you need to think twice. I think it's the same structure, this guy, the present Senate President, Bukola Saraki, is the same structure in Kwara State. So if you want to dislodge this kind of structures, you need to bet up.
Thank you, Sunday. Thank you for your contribution. GKB, when you look at this, all the tickets, people that were given this automatic ticket, how will it impact on the party in terms of their performance and everything in the National Assembly?
Well, the first thing is that this is just the first step. They've not won the election yet.
That's true.
They've just gotten the tickets to represent their party at the election. So you have to be very clear about that. Because some of the senators that left, like a senator from Oyo State, Senator Rilwan Akabi, will play a major role in who emerges as a senator within that zone in Oyo State.
I think
and the governor is taking over the
authority want to.
The governor has taken over the seats. He has been to the Senate before. I don't know what he forgot. That he was going back to pick. But having said that, we must understand that this is the perfect opportunity to curb the wings of some of these governors. We've been running what I call a governorcracy since 2003, when they gang up together to deal with Olusegun Obasanjo on behalf of Atiku. That's when this virus began. Because we didn't check it now, we are going to have governors in every position in the next 20 years. Right now, only Buhari bucked the trend because Yaradua, Jonathan, all were governors. And the way they were going,
even their deputies.
All the guys are governors. And that's the way they wanted to go. And sooner or later, by the time you get to the 5th or 6th electoral cycle, 79%, 80% of those in the Senate will be former governors. So we can simply call it governor's retreat.
Or retirement.
We call them your lordship.
But the thing is, other governors too will chase them out of the chamber. So saw what happened. Bukaba Ibrahim was in the Senate for years. And then Gaidam began showing interest in that seat. Gaidam eventually got the seat from him. The kingmaker of Zamfara politics, Yerima Bakura, Ahmed Sani, wanted to retain his Senate position. But Abdulaziz Yari was interested in the thing. After so much pressure, Abdulaziz Yari took the seat. And Yerima said, okay, I'm going back to the classroom now. I want to begin to function now as an elder statesman. I'm not going to the Senate anymore. The governors will twist you terribly that what you thought that no one could take from you, by yourself you give it to them. That is their nature. So the way Bukabai was talking, he said, no, this thing, stakeholders were not involved in the choosing of Maimala Buni as governor of the governorship candidate of APC. But his own seat, his own Senate seat, the governor was already eyeing his Senate seat. And in the end, he took it. The same way that Akombi, who fought Saraki, saying that, look, I did not join PDP. You lied against me. He rose up for the party. Now, Abiola Ajimobi has taken the seat.
Abdul Fattah Ahmed might be going to the Senate in Kwara State.
He's the candidate of the party.
Yeah, like
He's the candidate of the
PDP.
PDP.
Like we've noted here, all of them are eyeing National Assembly as a place where they will retire to. And some have branded it now a retirement home for...
They're not even retiring. It's not retiring because they are still
no,
playing
they,
their role in politics.
They want to
be relevant.
Yeah, they get in there. But like Jide has argued, we hope that these things move in circles. You take advantage of the power that you have at some point to move in there. And after somebody else will come in there and get you out of the case.
Thank you so much, Sam Ibimere. Thank you so much for being on the show today. GKB, thank you so much. And Babajide Kolade Ustoju, thank you. And that's it on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. Watch the repeat broadcast tonight. And you can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzuba. See you next week.